is the Mercedes A250 with 211 horses, 350 Newton meters of torque, and drive is to the front wheels with a 7-speed DCT. Okay, we are on the Uluyam Road, and because this is two-way traffic, we have to be very careful. Okay, the suspension on this car has been modified slightly. It's actually been made softer, yeah. Well, this is the first time I'm driving this car in about 3 years, so I still have to learn the car. Very nice day, no traffic, very good. Oh, I spoke too soon. Okay, whilst we are just doodling along, I'll just tell you a little bit about this car. I first drove it about 5 years ago. Okay, this car is 5 years old, by the way. It's done about 80,000 kilometers. Okay, he's asking me to pass. Thank you. Okay, this car has done about 80,000 kilometers. It's 5 years old, but driving it is still as good as new. Only difference is when I first drove this car 5 years ago, it was a bit harsh on the suspension, and it was really bad. And it doesn't have any what you call suspension tuning. Yeah, there are modes. There's eco mode, there's a sport mode, and a manual mode. But this only have to do with the engine. It doesn't do anything to the suspension. So the suspension was rock hard. Now 18-inch tires, big brakes, but it seems somebody wanted to have the AMG stripes and stuff on the car and the rims, but unfortunately it came with the suspension, and the suspension was rock hard. It would have been very good for track use, but for road use it was terrible. If I was driving it with that suspension now, I'd be suffering here. But of course it'll be quite nice to drive when you're going very fast, but well, I don't think it was worth it, no? So in comparison, the Golfs have got what do you call this chassis control, And of course, the later versions of this A250 came with what I would call DCC lah, the equivalent of chassis control. But this first batch didn't come with it, and that was probably the weakness of the car. Well, since then the owner, oh, this guy is on the wrong side. Since then the owner has changed the shockers to a softer type, and it is so much better now. Slow down a bit. We are in sport mode, but still in auto, but you can still use the pedal shifters, yeah? 7 speeds. Curve. Wow, that was an interesting drive. Now, this road can be dangerous if you're not careful, because they have very long straights, and then they have sharp turns at the end, and a lot of the turns are very similar, and if you're not familiar with it, you get caught up by one of those tightening ones. Alright guys, we are just leaving Uluyam and we're heading back towards Selayang area in the Mercedes A250. Well, we just drove up just now. Traffic was quite good and it was quite a clear run except for 1 or 2 cars, but they kindly let us go. Now we were driving in sport mode, and now what we are doing is we are in manual mode. So there's a 7-speed gearbox and we are using the pedal shifters. Now this car is quite nice to drive, but if you compare it to the Golf GTI, I think the GTI is more engaging, it's more predictable, yeah. Of course, to be fair, this car has got its suspension a little bit modified. In fact, it has been made softer to make it more livable, yeah. But other than that, the car is still stock, and against a stock GTI, I think a GTI has a bit more power and the gearbox is nicer to drive than this one. Yep, the Golf is much nicer to drive than this car. But of course, right now this car is very, very comfortable. Only thing is you cannot stiffen the suspension when you want it, but, and you cannot adjust the suspension. So that's where the newer A250 has got this, but we have not driven it, so we don't know how good that is. In terms of comparison on power, the Golf GTI has got a bit more horsepower than this one, because this one only has 211, and that is a bit lacking. And in terms of gear ratios, I think the 7-speed ratios are not that well planned. Well, to be fair to Mercedes, they are not used to making hot hatches, yeah. You have to have a certain kind of oomph around the corners, and most of the time the gearbox control wants you to go to a higher gear, which is probably to save the gearbox, but it doesn't make it very nice to drive. So it's not as engaging, you might say. So that's it, guys. This is the Mercedes A250. Thank you for watching. And okay, one request, yeah, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do press the bell at the bottom, yeah, and do subscribe, because we need all the subscribers we can get so that we can continue to give you some more good videos. Thanks for watching again, guys, and bye bye.